When did you decide your feelings were too much for everyone else? Because you did decide at some point, you just don't remember it. Maybe it was the time you cried and someone said, "Stop being so sensitive." Maybe it was the time you needed something and felt like a burden just for needing it. So you made a deal with yourself. I'll feel less. I'll need less. I'll take up less space. And it worked. You became the calm one. The one who's always fine. The one who never makes things complicated. But here's what no one tells you. You signed that deal to survive their discomfort, not your own. Here's what I got wrong about emotionally guarded people for a long time. The most shut down people are not the ones who feel the least. They're almost always the ones who once felt the most. Disproportionately sensitive, deeply empathic. The first one to feel the tension in a room before anyone's said a word. That sensitivity, when it's met with safety, becomes a superpower. But when it's met with dismissal, it doesn't disappear. It goes underground. The person doesn't stop feeling, they stop showing. There's a difference, and it's everything. Here's what it actually looks like. The person who shows up for everyone but never asks for help themselves. The one who will drop everything for a friend in crisis. But when they're in crisis, they disappear. And tell everyone they're fine. Warm, funny, present, until the conversation gets genuinely personal. And then something shifts. And one day, someone who loves them says, "I feel like I can't reach you." And they want to say, "I know. I can't reach me either. I've been trying for years." Here's the thing about relationships. Emotionally guarded people don't struggle because they're difficult. They struggle because of a cruel paradox. They desperately want closeness, and they're terrified of it in equal measure. They want someone who will stay, but they can't fully let anyone in, because letting someone in means being known, and being known means being seen in all the ways you're not enough. So they keep people at a careful distance, close enough to not be lonely, far enough to not get hurt. And from the outside, this looks like emotional unavailability. But from the inside, it's someone standing at the edge of something they really want, convinced that if they step forward, the ground will disappear. There's a concept in psychology called the window of tolerance. It's the zone where your nervous system can process emotions without shutting down or spiraling out. For people who grew up feeling safe, this window is wide. For people who didn't, it's barely a crack, and what looks like coldness is often just someone whose nervous system hit the override switch before they even had a choice. This is why. Just open up is the most useless advice ever given. You can't logic your way into vulnerability. The nervous system needs proof, evidence. I was vulnerable here, and nothing bad happened. That takes time. You can't rush it. So what does healing actually look like? It's not dramatic. It doesn't happen in one breakthrough moment. It happens when you notice yourself starting to shut down, and you catch it in real time. That noticing is everything, because the shutdown usually happens so fast. You don't even see it. 1 second you're present, the next second you're behind glass. The work isn't open everything up. It's quieter than that. Can I stay 1 second longer than I used to? Can I let one true thing show? Not everything. Just one thing. I'm not actually fine. This is hard. I'm scared. To one person in one moment and see what happens. Here's the insight that changes everything. The danger you built your armor to protect against in most rooms you walk into now is not there anymore. The person who dismissed your feelings was your parent, your sibling, someone from a long time ago. But your nervous system doesn't check the date. It runs the same calculation it learned when you were 7. Feeling danger, vulnerability loss. The armor kept you safe once. Now it's keeping you alone. I want to say this directly to whoever is watching this and recognizing themselves. You are not broken. You are not cold. You are not incapable of love. You are someone who learned to survive. in a specific set of circumstances, and that learning was brilliant. It served you. The part of you that went quiet when things got loud, that was protection. The part of you that stopped expecting too much, that was self-preservation. The part of you that learned to be fine, to be calm, to be the one who holds it together, that was remarkable. You figured out how to stay functional in conditions that weren't designed for you to thrive. That's not weakness. That's extraordinary. But here's the truth about survival strategies. They're only supposed to be temporary. A tourniquet saves your life in an emergency, but you're not supposed to wear it forever. Eventually, you have to take it off. And yes, it hurts when circulation returns. The vulnerability of feeling again after years of shutting down is uncomfortable in ways that are hard to describe. It's not linear. There will be moments where you open up and it goes wrong, and every part of your brain says, "I told you so," and you'll want to close back down. Maybe you will. For a while, that's part of it. But something else happens too. There are small, ordinary moments where you let something true show, and the other person meets you there, and you realize, I thought this would push them away. It pulled them closer, and something starts to shift. Not all at once, not permanently, but enough. Enough to make the armor feel less necessary. The most guarded people I've ever known had the most to give, the deepest capacity for love, the most genuine empathy, the most hard-won wisdom about pain and survival and what actually matters. They'd spent so long protecting all of that the protection itself became indistinguishable from the person. The armor became the identity. I'm just not emotional. I'm just independent. I'm just private. But underneath, a person who has been waiting for a very long time for proof that it's safe to come out. If that's you, if you've been called cold, distant, hard to love, hear this. You are not those things. You are someone who was never taught that feelings were safe. So you kept yours somewhere no one could reach them. That was survival. And you survived. But survival was never the destination. It was just supposed to get you here to this moment, where you're old enough, aware enough, and maybe just brave enough to ask. What would it feel like to finally put it down? You didn't become this way. You survived your way here, and the people who are worth it, the ones who will stay, they're not looking for someone who has it all together. They're looking for someone real, and you are so much more real than you've ever been allowed to show.